In my perfect world, I would have boarding options. And ideally, in my mind, it's like a little village where some families can stay there. Like if they don't have funds, maybe they can help out at work on the campus, smaller class sizes, more outdoor, paying attention to emotional development. Just we'll have a really safe community village space.
This episode is brought to you by the Arts Council for Monterey County. What makes life feel real? It's expressing yourself, finding your people, and using art to heal, grow, and be heard. The Arts Council for Monterey County, Arts4MC, believes the arts benefit everyone. They bring art into schools, community centers, and public spaces, and support students with scholarships, workshops, and programs like Poetry Out Loud and Youth Poet Laureate. Whether you're an artist or just looking to be inspired, your journey starts here. Learn more at arts4mc.org. That's arts, the number 4, mc.org. And remember, they're also proud sponsors of this podcast. So thank you to the Arts Council for Monterey County. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Offline Expression. My name is Jeff Hinderscheid, and I am here with Victoria Jones, our co-host. Say hi, Victoria.
Hey, everybody.
We are back. As always, we are joined by a very special guest. Coach Yana, say hello to the people, please.
Hello, everyone. Excited to be here.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. The smiling faces. It's a beautiful day. We fought through the adversity of technical issues, which everybody in the world knows now, I suppose, right? But we got it done. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so excited for this conversation. I'm glad to be here with you guys. And with all the technical, whatever that we deal with, it just shows that we can persevere and keep going. So I'm super excited. And I take it, honestly, as a good sign.
Excellent. Yes, me too, actually. It's easy to let little things like that derail you in the world, but I think that every single person on the planet that has ever used Zoom has experienced the mic not working, the sound not working. I can't hear you. Oh, I'm muted. You know what I mean? So it's become so normal that it's not even a thing. We just go, okay, try this, boom, 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 and we figured it out. Victoria, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah? Anything new going on?
Not a lot. Just
living my life. Just enjoying my life.
Enjoying summer.
Well, that's good. I mean, you want to enjoy it at least, right? Coach Yana, where are you located?
Yeah, so I'm actually all the way in the DC and Maryland area, but I'm actually in Maryland. It's quite hot out here. You would think we were much further south.
Oh, no.
It's a beautiful day. So yeah, I'm in Maryland. What about you guys?
We're in Central California. Would you say it's hot?
Okay.
Would you say it's hot right now?
No, not super hot, but it'll probably get a lot harder.
Yeah. You know, we spoke to somebody in I spoke to someone in New York yesterday, and like the humidity is apparently brutal, which I know from visiting in the past. Do you have a lot of humidity up there in Maryland right now?
Yes, and we have humidity all year round, and it's so bad that I have asthma. But I just thought everyone kind of breathed the same way. But when I went to Vegas and experienced life without humidity, I suddenly realized how much of a struggle breathing is for me in Maryland. So it's that highlight. It's quite humid here all the time.
Yeah, you're gonna have a move in the future. You're gonna have to. I'm the same way. I'm like a lizard on a rock. I can go into 114 if it's dry heat, like Vegas heat,
Yeah.
right? It's just the sun. It's like, oh, okay, no big deal. But when the air is thick with water, it's so uncomfortable. It's like chewing the air. And I am not about that. I can visit And then it's really nice
Right.
to not have to deal with it. But if it's humid all year round, that's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna try to add something else to it, but yeah, I just agree with you there. It's so humid even sometimes if you go out in some fresh AC with your glasses on, they'll fog up and so you have to like let your glasses readjust to the heat. So it's not, and like I said, and I didn't realize how big of an issue it was until I went to Vegas and I was like, and I kept telling all my friends, so this is how everyone else breathes? And they're like, it's not that big of a difference. I'm like, yes,
Yes, it
it
is.
is.
You don't even know. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. Well, the good news is you're inside right now, so you got some AC, I hope.
Yeah,
Excellent.
basically.
Well, summer months are always going to be, brutal. Last year it was like 110 almost every day for like 2 weeks. It was unbearable here. And the air wasn't humid, but it was hot air. So it was like you're
Mhm.
not only in the sun, but you have a heater on you. And so that was just, it was bizarre. But this summer we've been really fortunate because it hasn't gotten there yet. But I imagine that means it's because it's going to get there when we get to like October or something. It's going to stay hot for a while, but you'll be in school.
Mm-hmm.
How's that feel?
Not good. I don't want to go back.
Well, you're not there yet. We've got time. We've got time. Um,
Like, don't remind me.
yeah, don't remind me. I've still got time. Exactly. Victoria and I are notorious for like looking ahead a little bit and being like, oh my gosh, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, it's like, oh, we've only got so many times. And we have to tell ourselves, okay, wait a minute, enjoy the moment, stop and enjoy the beautiful
Mm-mm.
day. Everything is so good. Got lots to be grateful for. So it's awesome. Okay, enough about us. Coach Yana, tell us a little bit about you and what you do. I'm very excited to hear about this. So tell us who you are, what you do, how you do it. All give us a summary. Tell us what's up.
Yes, I'd love to. So once again, I'm Coach Yana, and I am a children's confidence coach. And my main motto is because confident children become capable adults. And so, since they're already on the internet all day, anyways, to some level, just because of how life has just progressed and things, I have created an ecosystem, a safe, monitored ecosystem for children so that they can develop confidence through play and fun and not even realize necessarily that it's happening and give them purposeful screen time. So if they're on the internet, at least they're doing something constructive, even if they're playing Roblox. I found that a lot of parents don't realize that Roblox is not necessarily safe without monitoring because if your child is in the yard or at the park, there are still adversities that could happen. But when you're on the internet and you have access to every single person that have a phone or a device, you really don't know who is talking to your child. And a lot of children are on Roblox all day long.
Right.
And unfortunately, yeah, they're getting into some sticky situations because they think they're talking to a friend and they might not be.
Right.
So I'm coming in also trying to educate parents on the internet safety. Like, if you wouldn't let your kid go to the park out of sight by themselves, then you probably shouldn't let them play on Roblox by themselves all day because in one hand with your community, you're up against your community members. But on Roblox, you're up against the entire world. And now they're looking to add more older people onto the platform. It's a great platform. It's fun. And though there are still safety measures that I think a lot of parents aren't considering that your little child is on the internet unmonitored for hours with
Right.
anybody. So as I'm trying to also educate parents and like not trying to make them paranoid, I just say be prepared, not scared, and try to educate parents, but also try to give the children safe spaces where they can just be kids and like, oh, I and not have a concern, but also like even remind them like, all right, you can share your state, but that's it. Like we don't need to know anything else. We don't need to know what your neighbor's house looks like or anything like that. So it's like that delicate balance of preparing them without scaring them.
Right. I like that motto. That's a good one. Prepare, not scare.
I have to put that on.
Yeah, prepare, not scared. I like that. And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first of all, I love what you're doing. That's really important to know that stuff. I mean, we've recently talked a lot about online chatting. And
Mm.
because my son is 10, and when he's playing Roblox with friends in like a group with like Victoria or some other people,
Right.
and I know that there's some control there because they're in this closed little group or whatever, it's one thing. But if he's on there by himself, which has only been a couple of times really, but just the other day, he was talking about being on it, and I was like, wait a second. And he's like, yeah, this guy said you will never guess. His name is Jeff H. And I'm like, yeah, we're getting off of that now, like right now, because that's my name. And I'm like, I don't know why
Oh, wow.
somebody might do that other than to pique the interest of somebody because
Exactly.
someone's done their homework maybe, and it can start a conversation. And maybe, I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather be prepared than scared. Like, could be nothing, could be a coincidence, could be whatever, could be another child somewhere. I don't know that though, but I do know statistics
Exactly.
and I do know how predators work. And so that was really an awkward thing because it
Sure.
it sent me to level 10 immediately. And it's not his fault.
Mm.
He's not doing anything
Right.
wrong. But that's my job to get in there and be like, we're shutting it down. So you're absolutely right. We know enough about it. So creating a safe place, it's like having a school playground that is only for children, right?
Exactly.
But for the internet. So tell us about you run the Laptop Life Coach, right? And so,
Mhm.
but you're also said that you're a children's confidence coach. So how do those two go together, and what is the Laptop Life Coach process? Tell us about that.
Wonderful, wonderful way to phrase that. So the laptop life coach is the overall like umbrella brand. So everything under laptop life coach revolves around children confidence. And so I have like a series that one of my students like dared me to create because long story short, I wanted to make a movie. And she's like, Coach Yana, kids aren't really going to watch a bunch of movies. You should turn it into a little series. I'm like, okay, fine. So I did that. And then I have like these books that you can access through Canva. So it's still digital and I'm encouraging reading and illustration and creative thinking because if you're a creative child, that creates independent thinking, that creates where I'm guiding them, like, okay, this is the scene, but what does it look like to you? Or the ball is what color? What does your character look like? So there's a guidance, but they get to create it in their own way. So it's like those kind of things. I'm finding creative ways that kids can have fun. And like I said, they don't realize that they're being coached. So as that, and then like the weekly social club. And so everything is under the laptop life coach umbrella because I can be accessed anywhere from a laptop. But the life coaching aspect is more, it's general because I like when letters are the same. So laptop and life coach is kind of match,
Literally.
but it's more so, right, more so about confidence because in order for a child, I think, to grow up into a capable adult, there are skills and things that they have to have in practice while they're children. And confidence, as much as it's something that some people just have, it's also a skill that has to be practiced. You have to work with children to establish, okay, um, oh, you care about my thoughts and opinions? What I have to say does matter. I don't have to color in the lines on this page.
Right.
I can put my own character. And so when you guide them or when I'm guiding them, I am creating a space where it's like, okay, this is the parameters, this is what we're doing, but however you get there, whether you get to 4 because you did 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 1 or 5 minus 1, as long as you get to where we're going, then that's the goal. So long story short, I am, and hopefully one day I have more confident coaches, but so that's where like Coach Yana confidence coach comes from. But the laptop life coach is the overarching ecosystem where everything that is created is systematically trying to subconsciously program confidence into children without them realizing that it's happening.
Wow. That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
like I said before we started officially recording, like it's so interesting because we spend a lot of time talking about the doom and gloom, the scary stuff, right? The be careful from screens and stuff like that. But then we always throw in screens and technology and internet aren't going anywhere. So we have to have ways to use it to our advantage and have tools that develop these skills because they're going to be on them anyway. But I don't have a way. I don't know how to do that necessarily. It's not my area of expertise. So having people out there that are doing it is pretty cool. Like spending time like that, I think.
Oh my goodness, excuse me. You should try and get Kellen on there. He would love that.
I think you're right. I think you have a new mission.
To get him on that. I'll play with him. We can do it together.
He would love that because like his favorite thing to do is spend time with you. And then if you guys find fun things to do that you're spending time doing, then he's going to be super into it, I think. So that's happening.
Actually, I also want to interject. That is why I realized that Roblox would be like a really good way of connecting because I have younger siblings, younger cousins, and the quickest way, like I've discovered, and sometimes there's a cousin that everyone swears you guys knew each other a long time ago, and you're like,
Right.
I've never met this kid in my life. But I've discovered all kids love playing Roblox. So I would play with my cousins that I didn't know and my siblings that they get so into it. And so I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is like a way to connect with kids. This is a way to, and then like with the girls right now and the boys, their favorite club that I have so far is the Dress to Impress club. And they go crazy in there. And so I'm always like, oh my God, I love your outfit. Or like, what made you put that together? And it's interesting because some children, and I'm not going to use a specific example. This is not a real example, but let's say one kid decided to put leg warmers on. I can ask one child directly, why did you choose to put leg warmers? And they'll just say, oh, because my outfit, I just wanted to go for 80. Look, I don't know. I can ask a different child the same question and say, why did you choose leg warmers? And they'll go, but that's because I thought it was a good look. And so then from that, I recognize, okay, and it's not a bad thing, but another thing that I think parents in general and everyone can recognize is not all kids, just like not all people or kids are people, not all adults are the same.
Right.
So definitely not all children are the same. And so some children can take a direct question and they feel like, oh, you want to hear from me. Other children, I ask them a direct question and they feel like I'm attacking them. So even though we're playing Roblox and they don't feel like that, I'm paying attention to everything. I'm reading facial expressions. I'm reading how close are they sitting up when they feel attacked in that way. If I ask her a question, how do they respond? And I'll keep like, for lack of a better term, I keep massaging it out until I see that they get back to having fun.
Right.
And another example I can think of, one time, this was kind of funny, so I can share this. One time the theme was disco, and children don't know anything about disco. So one of the children was like, "Oh, I'm going to dress up like the '80s," and I just bust out laughing because I was like, "'80s is not disco." But
Completely different theme.
based on how she responded, I'm like, "Oh," so I acted like, I want you to know I'm not laughing at you. It's just I feel old because you said this goes from the '80s. And she still, after that, she still had a cloud over her. So I kept going back to it over. And then finally I noticed he told me, I'm not laughing at you. What you said is totally fine. It's just funny to me because I feel like an old person now. And then she finally got it. But like those are the things that as adults and older teens or whatever, we don't even pick up on because to her, I was like, Coach Yana flagging me, what did I do? But it was just, I wouldn't have laughed at her. It was just the situation. So I'm paying attention to all of that. And that's something you wouldn't think you would see from Roblox. So all that to say, I think it's a great thing that you guys can bond through Roblox and you can pick up on how a child really feels about things and how they're really feeling based on those cues because you're playing Roblox with them. And if they're having fun, you feel that shift to where they suddenly feel uncomfortable, where they suddenly feel offended. And
Mm-hmm.
so then it's my job to go back around and just keep saying, I know you should be okay, but you don't look okay, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't say you don't look okay. I know
Right.
you say you're okay, but and then eventually, after a few minutes, she got it, and then she was back to normal.
Right.
So, and that all comes from playing games. So it's kind of interesting.
That is. You must have really high emotional intelligence because you got to be able, like you said earlier, I'm watching everything. And so
Mhm.
those kind of interactions, you're right. Like some kids, you'll pick up on the fact that maybe they might have something going on at home. They might have some stuff going on at school. They might have whatever. And so asking a question could feel like that attack, like you said. So the compliments are easier in that case. I really like the leg warmers you chose. Cool decision. And just a drop in that bucket, right? It's a self-esteem confidence
Mhm.
bucket that is going to benefit them in a social way as they grow versus the ones that already feel pretty confident and have that high self-esteem. So you can ask them just straight up, like you said, and
Right.
they might not have an answer. I don't know. It just felt right. Or maybe they have something
Right.
really cool and deep that comes out and you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. It's like with art, right, Victoria? Like you can see so much about a person through the way they are artistic, I suppose, the way they create. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that paintings and things like this, but kids need to be able to be picked up on when they're doing the digital stuff too. So how did you get to this? Like what was the call to action in your life that said, I need to do this?
Well, that is actually a really good question. And I wish I could say it was purely just because of positive things, but I had a really, really dark time. And I was an artist actually. So I
Okay.
still do art. So I can relate to that too. I used to vend like and sell bucket hats that I paint.
Ah.
And so during that time though, I just went through a really dark spell, long story short. And I remember the time that I felt the best was I was working, and I hate to use this word underprivileged, underserved, but that's just the blanket term. And I don't feel like they were underprivileged, but underprivileged high school students.
Mhm.
And that's the time where I felt like what I was doing actually mattered and made a difference. So after I went through this dark spell and I was like, okay, I didn't go through this challenge for no reason. Like something is off here. And I was just had faith with, okay, but when did I feel at my best? And at my best was when I was working with those, I still feel like they're children, but when I was working with the teenager, that's when I felt at my best. And so my brother took a class on Outschool like a few years ago, like a programming something Minecraft. And I was all like, you know what? Let's just try and see, like on a whim. And then after my first session, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like this makes sense. And I had tried life coaching before with adults, and I got my first client, and I quickly realized that I was not at the emotional capacity to work with adults because there's a lot more stuff that comes with being an adult.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I was not mentally, for my own sanity, that was too much for me. And so I still had the laptop life coach name, but it was just kind of out there. And then once I started working with children, I was teaching them about hair. Like this had nothing to do with confidence coaching. But as I started to work with them, I like I love it. Like I'm excited. Like even on my most tired day when I'm like, oh, if they don't show up, I'm not gonna cry, but I hope they show up.
But I
And
hope
then
they do. Now I know.
yeah, and then I feel so energized. So, long story short, it came because I went through a really dark phase and I just knew it didn't happen for no reason. There's
Mm.
something I must not be doing. There's something that I must be missing. I must not be on the right course or something because I was moving fast in the art world and it just like crashed.
Mm.
And then now, in hindsight, I'm thankful because had I not gone through that dark period, I would have never had the realization that maybe what I'm doing isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, or I can do it differently. So I guess you guys are gonna exclusive. Me and my sister are about to come out with some dolls that we're gonna like hand paint, so I can still use the art from it, but now I can use it for my children. So
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that's cool. Like, what do you mean though? Like the dolls, like you're coming out with them, like you're manufacturing these and painting them?
Well, so yeah, I got someone from Etsy who hand like stitches these
Oh,
yeah, this like random doll shape.
cool.
And I just had the idea like, oh, that'd be fun. And so we're gonna just create them. They're just like the best way I can describe it is they're just like a gingerbread man, but a doll,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wag doll.
Got
And
it.
so it's blank canvases. We've never done anything like this before, but I feel like it will be the next step to where kids can have something tangible to play with.
Yeah.
Because, even though I'm on the devices, I still want them to do stuff that's not only device driven. So I'm like, if I have this tangible workbook and then a tangible doll that I can have workbooks about. Maybe she can be in the theory. Then I can still encourage kids, yeah, play on the devices and use all these things. And though you can also go outside with your doll. You can also play in the book and read. So trying to just everywhere that I think kids need a more positive influence where they are allowed to just be children without the pressure of growing up too fast or I try to get all of those places. So
That's pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a good bridge between what they're creating in the on your site, you know what I mean, in the games that they're playing. If they get them create their avatar and put the clothes on and all these kinds of things in these different areas, they can literally make that live creation of it, and have it with them. And it's like their representation of themselves in some way, or maybe it's a friend or family member, but they can get more than one and build the whole team. You know what I mean? So, that's
yeah.
pretty fun. Okay, I love that. And you know what? Anytime you have an entrepreneur who's like, that would be fun, and adding artistic stuff to it, we're here for it. 100%. Yeah. So going back, thank you first of all for being vulnerable. And the dark times are dark times, but you are correct. When we go through them, it builds resilience. We go, oh, I'm actually grateful for that because it led me to here. And without this moment or that moment or whatever, that's just the positive way that we can really take advantage of our experience so that it doesn't just hinder us and put us down, right? And it's not easy. So I know that it must have been an amazing enlightening journey. So good for you. I
Yeah.
think it's a wonderful story to know that you've been through that and look at all the good you've decided to put yourself through and create for other people. So good deal. I like that.
Hmm.
What's up, all you expressionists out there? Do you need reliable IT support and more for your business? SPJR Computer Consulting delivers comprehensive solutions tailored to small and medium-sized businesses. From seamless technical support to professional website design and effective online advertising, we keep your budget in mind. Don't miss out. Visit spjrsolutions.com today. That's spjrsolutions.com. Your business deserves the best. Um, so when people go to, let's say a kid was like, I'm interested in this, right? I want to go to doing
Mhm.
the laptop life coach. What kind of what's the entry like? Like, do people just go to it and they can just sign up and start playing, or do parents go and say, hey, my child needs a confidence coach, and
Mhm.
seek you out, have some consultation, and then you say, okay, well, first they should register with this and start playing in this so they can get a little bit of that, and then we'll meet. Like,
Mhm.
how does the base entry level of the foundational process work?
Yeah. So it really depends. So if they find me like on YouTube, then kids have access to that or the parents might have access and then I guess they would start from there. But
Right.
for me, it always has to be the parent that's signing up just, for legal reasons.
Right.
And I am very big on like parents' involvement and like not just hey, there's some random person playing with my child on the internet. Like, no, you signed up for this class.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't even like sometimes the children will see that I'm online. Like, they'll send you requests to join them, and I don't join them
Mm.
because I know if I was a parent and I find my child up for Wednesday at 7 p.m., I expect you to only be playing with my child at Wednesday at 7 p.m. I don't
Mm.
want to hear, and I don't even have a kid, but I don't want to hear that the confidence coach is now playing with my kid after hours. Now,
Yeah.
if they join me, I can't stop that, but I'm not going to accept their invitations. And I tell them that. But physically or anything, it would be the parent who would sign them up. So our school is where, and our school is a great platform. I'm hosting my live classes on there, or live coaching, but they have everything on there. Like they have survival skills, or like
Mm.
how do you create a, I don't know, like a Ferrero Rocher. I don't know. Like this is just so many random things. And so I have that on there, and then I have the Patreon for like self-paced options, and then the workbook that they can buy tangibly and things. So everything is accessible, but parents need to make that first step. The children can watch the YouTube videos, like the series and things. So, like,
Mm.
not have a direct request series because the kids love that. But outside of that, children should not be the one making first contact. They should not be the one. They can go and say, "Hey, mommy, daddy, auntie, whoever, can you sign me up?" But I, in no way, shape, or form, even without school, you can message children and their parents. I will go straight to the parent.
Yep.
Thank you for signing your kid up. I don't ask the kids anything because even though I don't have children, I'm very, very, very aware and overly protective sometimes. And so I just
Mm-hmm.
want them to know I'm talking to you. I don't have any dealings with the children except for when we're supposed to be dealing with each other.
Got it. Okay, I'm glad I asked because that is, I was wondering between being a coach, right,
Mhm.
and having this fun, playful platform and thing that kids can do. I wasn't sure how do those work together, but that makes total sense.
Right.
And you're right, especially in the digital world, you have to be even more careful because otherwise we're just doing exactly what we say to watch out for and showing an example of
Exactly.
how sometimes it's okay, right? And so we
Exactly.
don't want to muddy those waters when it comes to the virtual side. So do you ever work with kids in person or is this all virtual from around like the country, the world?
Mhm. So I would like to work with children in person on a group setting, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily one on one. But I just haven't, the opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. But if there's like anyone listening, they're like, oh, can you? Yes, absolutely. But um, everything now is virtual.
Okay. So, I mean, as a business owner, that's obviously the way to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
You definitely want to make sure that you can grow your business. And the way that you do that is through the digital world and virtual stuff. So
Right.
that makes total sense. Did you hear that? Our mics, our headphones just started working on both sides.
They did?
Oh,
Wait. Oh
They
my god.
did. I don't know why. Must have been a phone issue, but that's kind of cool.
Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, it is.
oh wow.
I love that for both of us. I love the digital world because you get to learn every single day, whether you think you know it or you don't. You are just like, I guess we're learning now.
Yep.
So if you were to expand into an in-person group setting, right? Um,
Mhm.
are you located in just one location or do you move around a lot?
So I am in Maryland, but I am open to travel. So I guess the answer is right now I'm in one location, but if there was a wonderful opportunity that some group of children could use my services on the other side of the country, I would just be like, okay, where's my ticket? Where's my bag? I'm on the way.
Yes,
So I'm open.
that's excellent.
Mhm.
Where do you think, with your original storybooks and these interactive virtual clubs that you've created,
Mhm.
where do you see this going in terms of the future? Like, what do you think in a perfect world? Nothing is an object, is an obstacle. You just look ahead and go,
Mhm.
this is what I want it to look like someday. Tell us what that would be.
I First of all, thank you for that question. I like a pageant girl. Oh, thank you, but no, really, thank you. Um, so in my perfect world, I would actually have this like a 24/7 like boarding school type thing, but it wouldn't necessarily be a boarding school, but um I would have boarding options because, like, some parents have to be at work before the children have to be at school, and some parents are still at work when their children are at home. So I would like to have a 24/7 school where you whatever time you get up, that's where you can drop your child off. Whenever time you get off, that's whatever time you can pick them up.
Mm,
And ideally, in my mind, it's like a little village where some families can stay there. Like if they don't have funds, maybe they can help out at work on the campus or something. And just we'll have a really safe community village space, mainly for children to learn and grow. And I would also have other confidence coaches who work digitally in different spaces and
mhm.
really to grow. But my main thing, like I said, would definitely be a 24/7 boarding school because I just think that would be so fun and it would be structured completely differently than traditional school.
Right.
Um, Smaller class sizes, more outdoor, kinetic, hands-on learning, paying attention to emotional development, confidence building, skills. How do you do your taxes? You know how to do that before
Yeah.
you graduate. How do you change a tire? Like things that like life skills as well, on top of math and things, and like helping them find their way and making it so if a parent um can't get to their house at school at 8 a.m. because they have work at 5, that they
Right.
can drop their kids off before they go to work. So
Right.
ideally, that would be my perfect situation.
Oh my gosh, that sounds pretty awesome.
That sounds amazing. One of my biggest problems with school and with high school is that we don't learn a lot about how to manage finances. I know that's one of the most important skills going into adulthood. And
Yeah.
so I feel like school is like screwing me over, like not teaching me a lot about that. And so I try to learn stuff just like on my own, but to have that built in the into the curriculum seems so valuable and so helpful.
Yes, and you're, like, so advanced to even recognize that because you're not getting it, that you have the thirst to find it, because there are a lot of people, even adults, who are like, "Oh, I didn't get it, so I'm just not gonna have it." So kudos to you and your family for even, cultivating that mindset. And I agree, because we'll know how like, what the degrees are of a triangle, but we don't know how to invest. We don't know what 401ks are, but like if you need to know what a 90-degree angle is, I can tell you. I can point to it. But I might not be able to point to what's the difference between a Roth IRA and a 401k or
Right.
with all of these different things. So I definitely agree. And kudos to you for knowing that it's missing and having the capacity to want to find it and seek it out for yourself. So that's amazing.
I agree. And also, there's so many like how do I put this? There's so many other types of important emotional things that need to be taught. Psychology should be a mandatory science in high school. Like it's one of the most vulnerable and important developmental times in adolescence, and not learning things about emotional control and social interaction, um,
Yeah.
and the way to resolve conflict and how to debate safely. Arguments are going to happen in the world, and how to go back and forth, how to take the other stance and argue for it because that's your job right
Mhm.
now. So you can be articulate and also know how to resolve conflicts or just argue your point without it being
Yeah.
a heightened emotional state that gets you into some angry place. Like
Yeah.
there are so many different versions of classes and helpful adult things. Like everybody usually gets is you're going to be in a relationship someday, right? Like whether you're
Yeah.
R1, whether you have two in high
Yeah.
school, five in high school, or none in high school, someday as an adult, you will come across a person and be in a relationship. And if you don't know anything about how
Yeah.
social or emotional intelligence works in that capacity, like you're almost set up to fail.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
I
agree with you, Victoria. There's so many things, and I agree with you too. Like the school that you're looking at, like what you're talking about is really, really important.
Thank you. And I resonate with the emotional control too. And that's also why I was like, okay, I'll start with my younger kids. So right now my sweet spot is like 7 to 11 because you're so right. Being able to articulate when you're displeased or you feel disrespected or anything of that magnitude, you have to be able to say it clearly and so that it makes sense and not flying off the handle. Like Jim Brown says, you can't hunt a rabbit with a cannonball. Well, you can. You have every right to, but you're not gonna be able to use anything of that rabbit.
Right.
So I think it's important that children also learn the emotional intelligence because then like we're already gonna pack down things for the ones behind us. We're already gonna pack down certain cycles and things that we might not have noticed, but emotional intelligence is a huge, huge aspect. Then it can turn into self-sabotage because you cuss out your opportunity because you were late or you're mad at something
Right.
because something you did or something they did or something. Even like technology, there are spaces where that would have thrown the whole vibe off.
Right.
I'm not doing it. But those things happen. So being able to handle adversity and handle when things don't always go right. And on the flip side, handling when things do always go right. Handling when things are going well because you can be just as flawed and super happy, extremely happy as you would be extremely upset. I accidentally hit a parked car because I was so excited about something. I'm not paying attention. Dang. So I know
Oh
you can
no.
be truly excited. So, having that balance where you don't have to be too excited and don't be too angry, but also recognize that anger is a proper emotion. It's how you handle your anger and what you do with it that matters. So I agree with everything.
Yeah. And I think any of us can imagine right now, just sitting here, people that we might know that could really use that type of training.
Yeah.
Adults, teens, kids, doesn't matter. Like, and I do appreciate that you say you have a sweet spot in that age group because that's the age where you're really kind of throwing all the spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks. It's really
Mhm.
hard because that's the age that you're learning sarcasm, but you don't know how to apply it in real time. So you spit out these sarcastic things that come across as mean. And after a while, and if
Yeah.
somebody's not in the mood for that in that moment, it just comes across as something inappropriate that you shouldn't be doing. But it's
Mhm.
not usually meant that way. It's not intended to
Right.
be hurtful. It's just that's that age when you're trying it all. And so
Mhm.
sometimes it's funny and it's all good, and then other times it's not. So learning the emotional intelligence of how to read a room, how to read a situation, how to know when that
Yeah.
applies, like those things, they can't be understated, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they are. They're not even
Mhm.
talked about or considered. Jonathan Haidt talks about that in his book, The Anxious Generation, how at that younger developmental age, we're quick to jump like on kids, right? Now parents are
Yeah.
stressed, older siblings are overwhelmed, like no judgment
Mhm.
whatsoever. But they are the quickness to be like, don't do that, as
Right.
opposed to, hey, when you do this, this is how it comes across. And you don't want to necessarily do that because I don't think you meant it this way, but that's how it's heard. So then
Yeah.
you can lead with curiosity and teach more. But unless that's like a movement, unless everybody's talking about that and doing that, it's really hard to single one kid out because they're going to go to school and every
Yeah.
other kid is going to talk to them that way. So they have to defend themselves essentially and do it as well.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's a really good age to teach that kind of stuff because then it'll benefit them as they go and it'll compound. So anyway,
Well, thank you.
yeah, good for you. I love that vision that you have because it's a beautiful one. And You also talked about, parents with like hard work schedules. I mean, we live in a very small town that has a high population of migrant field workers in the agricultural business, and they got to get up and be getting in that carpool and get down to those fields by 4:30 or 5 in the morning. So
Oh wow.
they get off work around, they get home sometimes around 3 in the afternoon, sometimes 4, and they're exhausted unless they have to do double shifts and like work in another place and then they're not home till like 9 or something. Well, who's taking care of those kids? It's usually a family member that's either an older sibling, and we're not talking that much older. We're talking like the 11-year-old taking care of the 4-year-old kind of stuff. And if they have no adult supervision for years because the parents just doing their best, that
Right.
is a brutal situation. And if you can get childcare, you usually at that time can't afford it. And you certainly
Yeah.
can't get somebody that's going to let you drop off the kid at 5 a.m. half the time. So it
Mm.
becomes a real problem. So I love that part of your vision because the 24/7 part is so important. And to call it a school, which it is, as opposed to, I mean, a daycare center, as opposed to a group home, essentially, right? That you can drape and
Yeah.
go with. Like it's not that. And so I really admire that vision.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that because I agree. And I think that a lot of times people get so caught up in their own life and it makes sense. Like adulting is stressful, adulting is hard, bills, life, everything is challenging. And though one of my friends, he's a social worker, he said that he has to tell the parents that he works with because, social worker, that your children, no matter how hard your job is, there's no way that they can understand that because they go to school. And so he tells them, don't say like, oh, you don't know what I did for you because they really don't. But put it in phrases that they can understand. Like, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you're probably not going to have as many Christmas presents because this, what you're doing is taking away from my ability to buy you Christmas gifts. So, phrasing it in ways that they can say, oh, Christmas gifts. Okay, maybe let me calm down because Santa needs to come visit me, like,
Right.
or whoever.
They can
But
connect those
sometimes,
dots when it's in chunks, not a blanket statement
exactly.
of guilt that they don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way that your child that's never been in your shoes, even if they come to work with you and see it, they don't know what the pressure is like of having a family dynamic on your shoulder. I don't even know what that's like, to be honest. I don't have children at this time. But, I just want to remind people, like, sometimes when I say things, people get, like, some parents will get offended, but it's like, I'm not saying it to be offensive. I'm saying because you have to be aware. Just because, like, I had a cousin, I was telling him, just because you didn't intend to hurt your child's feelings, it doesn't mean you didn't do
Right.
it. Just because you didn't do it on purpose doesn't mean it didn't happen. And so he was getting upset with me, like, but Brianna, I didn't mean to. And my parents did. And I'm like, okay, okay. But you set up an environment because of what you experienced that your children would experience a better situation. So of course they're not going to be able to handle, and they shouldn't. They're not going to be
Right.
able to handle the same thing that you could because you created a better quality of life for them. And so after that, you just have to recognize, even though you didn't intend to hurt her feelings, you still did it. And it still hurt, even though it was less than what you did. And it showed you did a good job because you were successful. Because if your child can't handle the same hurt that you handled, it's because you created a safer zone. So don't get mad at her because she's upset. Instead of feeling like you're a bad dad or because he's a guy, instead of feeling like that, recognize you did a good job. And though, just like everyone else is still work to do. And it's okay. Everyone's gonna hurt everyone. I still hurt my siblings still have on accident.
Hmm.
It's about recognizing that you did it, owning up to it, and then just trying not to do it again. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all glowing. All of us are growing. All of us. But if you did such a good job that now your child is softer than you, it's okay.
Hmm.
It's okay.
I love that. And we just talked yesterday in a class about what you were saying, accidents versus intention, right? We were talking about having physical self-control. As if you're swinging your arms around, you hit someone in the face, is it an accident? And, half of them will go, yeah, and then they'll stop and go, well, no, and then, their head just kind of, wait a minute. And I said, well, okay, well, is it their fault? Yeah. So you have control of your arm, and you have to control that arm because maybe you didn't intend to hurt them and hit them in the face. So it is technically an accident. It's still your fault. It's your arm. So what can we learn from that, and how can you extend that into other things? So, well, I have one more question for you, Coach Yana, before I let you get on with your day in the beautiful humidity. Is there?
Keep me longer.
I know, right? It's like, oh, this ain't so bad. I'll stay in the AC, thanks. What if somebody was interested? They listen to this and they go, oh my gosh, I need to know more about this. Where should they go? How should they contact you? What do they do?
Okay. The laptoplifecoach.com. And I am this full spell out. I'm the laptop life coach on all social platforms that I have, which are Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. The YouTube laptop life coach is the parents YouTube one. The children's one is on a different one. But you can email me. That's probably the fastest way to get in touch. And then also Instagram DM. But if you put an Instagram DM and it goes to the spam folder, I already warned you. So you can do Instagram, but email is definitely the best way for sure.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Victoria, anything that you would like to ask or add?
This is slightly off topic, so I just wanted to wait until the end. But it says on your Podmatch bio that you're a former cheerleader, and I just think that's so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and okay, I'll just say this because I know you guys have things to do as well. But the being a cheerleader also is a reason why I feel like I have confidence in some ways too, because we always have to sit up straight. So I'm always like trying to not you can't really do it in virtual space, but I try to remind the kids right about their posture because even when I put my siblings like just general safety, if you're walking around and you're by yourself as a young woman and you're slouching, if there is a weirdo around, you're more likely to appear like someone that they could easily get, which just sucks. But if you're head up high, looking around and alert, then you look less what someone could perceive as a target, which is I know that that's kind of dark, but it's true.
Yeah.
So cheerleading showed me that and like smiling, even when you're even like when we were working out, they would say the harder it hurts, the bigger you smile. So now when I glare yourself, the harder it hurts, the bigger I smile. When I'm working out, we had this cheer like I'm not tired, I'm feeling good. So when I'm stressed out, I'm like, I'm feeling good or working out. So once again, you're showing this your way of looking at the world because no one else has ever mentioned that. And so I see that the way that you see things and you're like connecting dots way far ahead. So I know this might be corny, but I give all my students a signature round of applause. And just the way your mind was, Victoria, I'm impressed. So thank you for that question. And also thank you, Jeff. This was such a wonderful platform that you guys have created. And I felt like I'm in the grind with you all together.
Yes.
So this was a wonderful experience, honestly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty stoked that we get to do this for sure. It's unique and it's special and it's we meet amazing people just like you, and so we're so grateful for that. And it's nice in our little small town. It's nice to know there's other people out there. Sometimes you could feel alone, like you're just fighting this uphill battle and what's it all for, and you're just in it, right? And then you meet people and you're like, okay, no. I'm a part of a much bigger, more vast network of good people who are out there trying to do something. They're working hard. They're working with kids. They're raising awareness, whatever it is. There's people out there doing that, and that gives us strength to keep it going and do what we do. So thank you for being you. And I am so excited about your upcoming doll adventure. So we're going to keep a close eye on your site, and
We'll email you soon, and thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, thank you guys, and thank you, audience. Bye.
Bye.